Uniquely me is uniquely you. Balancing the different hats of life, achieving all your goals in the name of Christ. Uniquely me is uniquely you. You can do anything. With the S on your chest, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. You are a winner and you're an overcomer. You can be all things to Christ who gives you strength. Yeah, you are a fighter. You're so determined. Uniquely me is uniquely you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. As you know, this program is about women, for women, and of course, by a woman. But you know that women are so powerful. We wear the S on our chest. And so we're always influencing and being influenced. And that's why for this season, I decided that I'll do a little mix up for you. Yeah, that's right, a little mix up. So we're going to throw some men in there. We're going to throw some couples in there. And this week, I am so excited to share with you the story of Mr. and Mrs. Williams. But I'm going to allow them, I'm going to do a little different thing too. So, normally I ask my guests to share a little about themselves. But this week, what's going to happen is that Mr. Williams is going to introduce his wife and Mrs. Williams is going to tell us a little about her husband. So I don't know how they plan to do it. But of course, let me just take the time to welcome Simone and Shaun Williams. Hey guys, welcome to Uniquely Me.
Hi. Nice to be here.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. And Simone, this has been long outstanding, of course. So like you just heard, I need you to introduce each other. Tell us a little about each other. But so normally it would be Simone, you telling us about you, and Shaun, you telling us about you. But this time, because it's a couples thing, Shaun, you will tell us a little about Simone. And Simone, you tell us a little about Shaun. So who wants to go first?
I know him to lead.
How long is the recording?
Oh, we've gone. Sure, of course. What was that, Shaun?
How long is the show?
Oh, it goes a half an hour. But if you Shaun, it goes a half an hour. So take a minute or less than a minute to tell us about everything you know about Simone.
All right, I'll try because there's a lot to say, but I'll try to cram it into a minute. This woman here, she's more than a woman. She's more than a mother. She's more than a wife.
Yeah.
I think that she's a gift from God to me, particular for me. You ever hear the saying that every tick of the more bush?
Yes.
Well, that saying is right for me because this woman here is the first woman that I've ever been with in a relationship with. And I married to her. So I waited all of 18 years to meet her.
Wow.
And there has never been any other woman from birth until that. And I think that God has particularly picked her out, handpicked her for me.
Yeah.
And if I had not been patient and waited on the Lord, I would not have received that precious gift that He had ordained for me. The Bible says that he that findeth a wife
Find it a
findeth
good
a
thing.
good thing.
Yeah.
I say, he that findeth Simone findeth a good thing.
Yes.
Simone is a great mother. She's sacrificial in her giving, and she has a superb unconditional love. I think that the Lord has used her to express His love to me. The way that she unconditionally loves me in spite of my failures, in spite of my faults, in spite of my differences. She has continued to love me no matter what.
Wow.
She has placed herself out there to make me look good. At many times she has stepped down and elevated me to the forefront in order that I might shine,
Yeah.
As she say, I'm her king. So she is elevating me to shine so that in the long run she will eventually shine, I guess. But I think I get the better part of the deal.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Shaun. You're right. I need to give you an entire show for you alone to talk about Simone. So, Simone, talk with us, share with us, who is Shaun?
Uh, what can I say? I mean, there are so many things about Sean. I don't think the show alone would allow me to complete.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, he's my answered prayer.
Yeah.
I always wanted a man who is strong, someone who is ambitious, but not only that. What stood out in my mind first time I met Sean is the fact that he gives himself unconditionally to others,
Yeah.
even at his own detriment at times.
Yeah.
Right? The way he taught me how to serve. I learned from him how to serve, the whole aspect of service,
Mm-hmm.
and how to have faith. He's a man of faith.
Yeah.
I remember the first time when we went out to get a house, looking for a home, a
Mm-hmm.
house to buy, and we didn't know where the money was coming from because we didn't have a cent in the bank. And Sean went out in faith and he picked the spot. It was a ski house, picked the spot.
Yeah.
When we went and saw where the spot, would be,
Uh-huh.
spot is, he came out of the car and ran on a piece of land and jumped up on it, just like when Abraham jumped upon the land and claimed it. And he
Yes.
claimed, and I tell you, we got that house. And
Yeah.
that really taught me a lot how to really have faith. So he's talking about how I am. It's really he who has taught me a lot of things.
So
And
sorry.
okay, and so because of that, I fight to hold on to who he is and who I know he is to be, because God has given me a gift, really. And the fact that he will go out, all out, especially for his family. He is a family man, I tell you, right? He will go all out for his family. Sometimes I say, boy, Sean,
Paul. Go ahead.
we don't have it. Just let us get something else for the children. And he will say, no, leave me alone. It's one wife I have, and these are my children. Leave me alone. Let me be the man who I am. And so I am really grateful. No matter what, he always tried to make the sacrifice. It may seem simple, but just Sunday, he was in a lot of pain because of his sickness. He has Crohn's, and it comes with a whole lot of excruciating pain.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "Oh, look at that mango, boy! I would love that mango. You could pick it for me, Sean." And I mean, I realized that he was in a lot of pain, and I said, "Oh, you're in a lot of pain," and he said, "No, man, I'm gonna get it for you. Wherever the mango is, even if it's Timbuktu, I'm going to get it for you." And he went and he picked the mango off the tree, and then he went to the next neighbor's house and picked 2 more mangoes.
So Sean, the power of a woman to influence a man. talk to us about that. The power of a woman, because like you said, you waited for 18 years, and how long you guys have been married?
We have been married now. This year would make 21 years.
Yes.
21 years. So you've had to, for the last 21 years, has the influence of this woman all over you. Even when you're sick, you're still going to go pick mango and going over to the neighbor's house to pick their mango.
Yes.
But the power of a woman, talk to us about the power of a woman. Is there such a thing regarding, the power of a woman from your perspective?
Of course there is. Look at Adam. The way Eve was so powerful. Adam chose Eve over life itself.
Yes.
The Lord told him, yes. The Lord told him, Adam was the one who got the command, not Eve. And the Lord came to him, gave him the chance of confessing, yes, Lord, I had sinned. All the Lord wanted to hear was, yes, a confession that I have sinned. He didn't. He said, Lord, it's the woman. The woman you gave me.
The power of a woman, From creation.
From creation.
So we want to jump into this book. So Simone, I didn't share it first that you're an author, because I really wanted your husband to talk about you and for you to talk about your husband, because so often, we know that we are strong, and yes, as husband and wife living together, we have the notion that we're appreciated, but it's so good to hear it from each other. Because I'm really wondering, Simone, did you know all these things that your husband said?
Oh yes, yes. The thing about Sean is that he doesn't wait on a birthday or anniversary to
Mm-hmm.
show his love, right? He does it. He celebrates life in itself,
Mm-hmm.
and he does it every day. You know, he will say, I love this about you," or he will go on Facebook and he will write something about me. I remember about 10
Aw.
years ago, where I was working, and he will normally send me gifts. Or actually, I tell you, when we just met, before I tell you about that, when we just met, Sean will come and look for me, and he will stop and pick off other people's flowers. Sometimes mine, but he can't afford to buy, and pick other people's flowers just to carry and give it to me, just for me to feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was saying, where I was working, he sent a basket,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just to say, just because I love you. And
Mm-hmm.
persons were saying, wow, your husband sent a basket. I wonder why you don't know. Because they're so used to this notion that because the man maybe do something wrong, he might
Yes.
try to friend you up before you find out. When
Mm-hmm.
in fact that wasn't the case, and that's not the case with us, right? He
Mm-hmm.
celebrates life, and he will do anything just to show that I appreciate you. If you sometimes coming off the road,
Mm-hmm.
you would stop and buy our ice cement and say,
Oh.
I carry this for you, babes. I was thinking of you.
Well, I want to say to you, Simone and Sean, that this is what we call this. I call it fairy tale, because it's not. You don't find it often. When we find, if you should sit in a forum with couples, it's usually so much blaming. He said, she said, what him do, what she do. You don't hear the love affair continuing. You understand? You hear it when they just start, but you don't hear it continuing. But I want to jump into your book. Your book, Wanting to Let Go, but His Love Won't Let Me. Let me ask you for starters, what were you talking about, Sean?
No.
Okay. Who are you talking about? Because as we dive deeper into the book surely engulfed a lot about Sean, but what were you talking about at first?
I was talking about his love, his great love, the one who is great and whose greatness is unsearchable, God's love.
Yeah.
And it is God's love that really is the truth and only love I know,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's the one who taught me how to love, first of all, how to love myself.
Yeah.
So I was able to love my husband, because no one can love anyone else unless they're able to love themselves. Or first of all, know of God's love. He said, he that loveth not, know it not God, because God
Mm-hmm.
is love.
All right.
So
So, mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry.
it's really about God's love. So many obstacles, so many rejections, disappointments, right, that I encounter that was shown in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yet
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, and because of all of this, I wanted to just let go of
Mm-hmm.
life itself, because it was so painful
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes you just want to just let go so that the pain could stop.
Yeah. So
But
I
um,
want. Mhm. I know
but
I
it was
keep wanting to butt in because I'm so excited. Having gone through your book, Simone, I'm excited. But we only have half an hour, and so there's so much to dig into. Um,
right.
one of the main points for me in your book, was talking about the trauma you had to go through, or your marriage had to go through. And there was something specific you said in there that I don't know, for some strange reason, it has stood out for me. And so I'm so mindful in how I behave in my own marriage, the things I say in my marriage. But we soon get to that. What was the trauma that your marriage went through? What major trauma did your marriage go through that you would say tested the fiber of your both of your existence?
Well, we went through a lot of struggles throughout the
Mm-hmm.
book. But the major one was what hit me and what floored me really, and where I thought this is it, the marriage is over, was one of the emotional affair.
Yeah. What's an
Emotional
emotional affair, Simone? What's an emotional
has to
affair?
do with someone, the spouse, or to communicate more deeply with someone else who is not their wife or who is not the husband.
Mm-hmm.
It was done on a frequent basis.
Mm-hmm.
The person basically become close emotionally to the other person in the sense where they share their problems, they share what is it their goals are, what is it that they want to achieve. But they also, it's a sense of connection that they made with each other
Other. Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't have been, instead should have been with the spouse that they're with. But
So,
it was carried outside and shared with somebody else, where I think that it shouldn't have been so,
mm-hmm.
because that sort of connection um
Should really have been with you.
should have been with me, instead of going to this person and getting so connected with this person,
Sean,
in a sense where, as if my business then was out there telling this person about my business, and she was being protected at the time when it was going on, and the secrecy of it.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is what damaged me, in a sense. It really hurt me, in a sense where my body was reading. I didn't know that the mind reads emotional pain just the same way as it reads physical pain, because
Mm-hmm.
at one point I felt as if I was having an attack, heart attack, but it
Wow.
was really a panic attack that I
Wow.
was having so much that when I would go out, even to the supermarket, just standing there, anywhere I go, this is just in my face, day and night. I felt as if I wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I wasn't in the moment. I wasn't living.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
part of me died.
Let me ask Sean, and Sean, I hope you don't feel any way. Well, you're sitting beside your wife, and I see you looking lovingly at her. But Sean, defend yourself if there's such a thing. you know, what would have caused you to have emotionally connected with somebody else instead of this woman that you've called bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh?
Well, it's hard to defend myself. As the Bible says, the Lord judgeth between me and thee. And he says that he has all power.
Mm-hmm.
Every power is subjected under the higher power, and there is no power that be unless it is ordained by him.
Yeah.
And all things work together for good to them that love God, to them
Mm-hmm.
work all according to his purpose. And a lot of times that we go through testing times and trying times, we want to credit the devil and say it is him. But when Job went through his time of testing, it had nothing to do with the enemy. You
Yeah.
know, Lord was the one who called the devil. The sons of the morning came before God, and
Mm-hmm.
the devil was present.
Mm-hmm.
And God was the one who said to Lucifer, "Hey, come here.
Mm-hmm.
You know Job?
Yeah.
Of course I know Job."
Uh-huh.
And you know the story with Job, and Job was tested and tried because God had confidence in him, because God had all the pleasure of knowing what Job can and cannot do, and we are tested to the limit that God knows. We don't even know the limit that we can be tested to at times. And when this happened, it was very real. It wasn't artificial.
Mm-hmm.
It was very real. This is the first time in my life that I had seen another woman
Mm-hmm.
in the way that I saw my wife.
Yeah.
And it was compounded by a lot of trials that we're going through physically, financially, emotionally.
Yeah.
And it was created, I think genuinely, it
Yeah.
was created by the Lord. As Simone wrote in her book, the very thing that she thought that would have destroyed her marriage is the very thing that saved it. You
But
know,
hold on, Sean, you see a tough thing there now. Created by the Lord, you're telling me
yeah.
that the Lord would have brought infidelity, even if it wasn't physical but emotional, into my marriage to make me unhappy, make me sad. Are you saying that the Lord purposes things to happen?
It is not the first that you have done it. David was to be at battle and he went up on his roof and he saw Bathsheba, who is a married woman, and sent called Bathsheba to come over. Then he lied with Bathsheba and got a child, sent for Uriah so that Joab could send him home, and wanted to throw a jacket, as Jamaicans would say, onto Uriah. But Uriah didn't have it because Uriah didn't go home. When David sent him home, he went down to the stables, the barns, and slept with the other soldiers. He said he can't go home and be comfortable and enjoy his wife while the men is out for battle. And when David saw that, David wrote his death warrant and gave it to him, Uriah. And when he brought it to Joab, the letter read that Joab should put him on the front of the hottest battle. And when the enemy is pursued, pull back your men and allow Uriah to die.
Yeah.
So after that, remember the child that Bathsheba had? The Lord told him, weep no more. You know, this child is conceived under sin and couldn't get any glory, you know. But don't worry.
Yeah.
Put it to rest. And who came out of that relationship? Solomon came out of the union with Bathsheba and David, which was the greatest king after David that never see battle.
Right.
This is not the first that he has done it.
So Shaun, that's true. But how did you react when you recognized that this thing was now affecting Simone? When it came to light and you realized how much it's affecting Simone, and as Simone said, I don't know if you knew about, you know, what was happening to her in the physical, that kind of thing. How did you react?
Come on, as I said, it was very real, you know. It's looking back that I can now say all of this was ordained by the Lord. But being in it, I had no consciousness of that. I wasn't saying that at all, that all of this is for the Lord. Yeah. I was ready to leave. I was ready to go. I was ready to throw away the years that we had together. Yeah. I was looking somewhere else, you know. Even though it started as an emotional affair, so to be, I think maybe if the person was here physically, maybe it would have been a physical affair, you know. But how the Lord had ordained it, he had put the situation so distant apart from us that he had guarded it. Same thing with Job. He put a fence around Job so that the enemy could only touch aspects of his life and not his life itself. Right. So the Lord had put a hedge around the relationship, so to speak, so that, you know, there are certain aspects that can be touched and certain that cannot be touched at all. So the life in itself of the relationship could not be touched. And what made me make an about turn was when I saw Simone in a physical state, not an emotional, because all the emotional state was going through and I was callous to it. Right. But seeing her in that physical state of putting even a belt around her neck to say that she wants to end her life, you know, she can't breathe anymore. And then that physical state that she was in made something in me click, you know, something snapped. And that was when I was brought back to what it is that I had, you know, and who it is that God gave me, and what it is that I'll be throwing away. And, you know, it's like a shake up, you know, wake up, come up, wake up, what you're doing. It's like the Lord like to give me 2 slaps on each side of the cheek and say, snap out of it. This is, you know, this is the reality now. Wake up. I'm trying to get your attention. So what is happening? So that was when I made that about turn and said, no, I can't allow this woman to which I had fell in love with so long. I thought love was dead, but no, it can't be dead if this is the way I feel about her. It's not just a human love to say, boy, there's another human there who is suffering, but this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh going through an excruciating pain. And there was something inside of me, it rubbed me too. I was feeling the pain, I was feeling the hurt. And that made me decided to, you know, seek the Lord and say, boy, all right, yes, you have my attention now. And yes, you know, do what it is that you want to do. Have your way, Lord, you know. That's what he wants most of the time, for us to just cry out, surrender to him, give him the battle and let him fight it rather than us trying to fight it. And this is the way he operates. He's not going to force himself, but he's going to corner you. He's going to put you into a corner where it is that you don't have no other escape. You know, when Jonah tried to run, Jonah run as far as he could, but yet still, Jonah was the one who told the men, you have to throw me overboard, you know. If you don't throw me overboard, your ship is going to sink with all of you. Throw me overboard.
So Shaun, in the midst of this, you were a Christian when all of this happened.
Yes.
Simone, I want to ask you, when um when you saw all of this and you saw the callousness of your husband, for want of a better word, towards you, what did you do? What did you do? I heard your husband saying, yes, you put something around your neck to say, hey, I'm done with this. So it sounds like you weren't just emotionally done, but you were physically done. But there's, in your book, you said there was something else you did. What was it that you did?
Initially, I was angry. I was furious. I was not just only devastated, but very angry.
Yeah.
And I cursed him out. I, I grabbed something. I started hitting him. I just wanted to see him hurt, but he wasn't hurting as much as I want to see him hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to the Lord and asked him to bring back his sickness, let him hurt.
Yeah.
And I even shared it with my mother-in-law, who was very instrumental in helping me along the way. And she said to me that, don't wish that not that is her son, but that it will fall back on me who have to take care of him. Mm-hmm. And I went to the Lord and I said, God, you could have prevented this. Why did you allow this thing to happen? You could have and I realized I was angry with God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was angry most of all with God. And you know what? The Lord said to me, love your husband. And not just love your husband extravagantly.
Yes, my God.
And I wrestle with that. I wrestle with that because I'm saying, look at what this man is doing. You're telling me to love him.
Yes.
And yes, love him. And I'm going to be in it with you. Because the thing with God is that when he's putting you through, when he said whom he loveth, he chasteneth.
Yes.
Right? And because he loves me and he knows the situation and he was going to change the situation. He was more concerned with me, my soul. And he wanted to change me within the situation. And so he told me to love my husband. And it was not until I surrendered to it all, and the Lord became intimate with me in the whole process of it.
Simone, I don't want to cut you, but I want to, I want you to share with us some physical way of seriously, because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the Lord is setting me up with this program that He has given to me, because I can identify with it. That's the struggles that we go through, and a lot of persons don't know this. But as I listen to you guys, I've had to go through some of those similar feelings, Simone, and I can tell you, Simone, me don't want to hear the Lord tell me about no love my husband. Me just want to get violent. Me just want to get violent, and and the thing is, what really got to me was the level of violence, that erupted, the anger that erupted in me. And I said, one at a time, I said, I need to go counseling, because it wasn't so much so that he was hurting me. It was the matter that I was becoming this monster, but yeah, like you said, the Lord said, hey, you got to learn to love this person. How did you really and truly look back and begin to love him, like physically love him?
Well,
and in light of, you prayed that his sickness would return, and his sickness did return.
Exactly, his sickness did return. And as you said, you had to go to counseling. I too had to go to counseling because of the whole rage that was engulfing me. And the thing that the counselor, I said to her, why didn't he love me enough to see my hurt? But he could see another woman's hurt and not mine. And she said to me, why didn't you love yourself enough?
You spoke to her?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And why didn't you love yourself enough? And it hit me. I said, I realized I wasn't loving myself. Wow. Right? I was so caught up with just doing for everybody, making sure everybody's okay. But I was not loving myself.
So hold on, Simone. You slap her first and then you go talk to yourself, right?
Yeah. And so she said, you have to start loving yourself. And she said, one thing you have to do, get up. Not that, I'm a person, I used to do modeling and I love to dress up and all of that. but I was doing that, but just wasn't so much attention to myself anymore.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
started getting up in the morning, dressing up, putting on makeup in the morning, and just go about my daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
The thoughts still in my head,
Yeah.
but the love was still there. Every time he brings me back to his word, love. And love is not based on a gush of emotions as we
Yes.
think it to be.
Yeah.
Love is real. Love is an action word.
Mm-hmm.
It's an action word, right? And so there are things you have to do to show that love.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to look after Sean. The pain was so excruciating that I had to literally help lift him.
Yeah.
Sometimes have to bathe him. Sometimes have to dress whatever is there that needs dressing, right?
Oh.
And I'm saying, I mean, in all of this, I expect to still be angry and murmur, but I wasn't murmuring this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was happy that I'm here now to help my husband, right?
You're both recognizing, you're both recognizing how the love, how God, the
Yeah,
trauma allowed your eyes to both be open. That it
exactly.
wasn't just because before, I guess you guys went through, going through the motions. Yeah, when we just fall in love, all the butterflies and yeah,
Yes,
the years and the children and stuff. But you're realizing that it's almost as if you guys were rebirthed.
yes, yes.
Ah,
And all along we thought that we were loving each other, but really and truly, um, that was just the tip of the iceberg.
yeah,
What the Lord showed us was more of an unconditional love, and He had to break us,
yeah.
right, to show us that, because before a seed can grow, when it falls wrong, it has to die. And so we
Mm,
had to die to Him, to His will, because it's not for our own purpose, it's
yeah,
for His purpose,
yeah, yeah.
right? And so we had to give up our pride and our high mindedness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And humble. And it was a humbling experience. The thing about it is that I was asleep one morning and I heard the number 7
Yeah.
whispered in my ears. And I said, 7, what does 7 means? And I looked it up and it means completion. I said, is
Oh,
it that? Or
yeah.
I wonder if it's a lucky number for buy cash pot.
Yes.
You're in financial problems, you're seeking all avenue, but it
Yeah.
was a cash pot number.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard the name Jesse.
Yeah. Come on.
What is this? Lo and behold, I was pregnant and I did not know.
Hold
All,
on, Simone.
no, I don't know how that happened.
No, serious. I mean, I know I've been through the book, Simone. I know we have spoken, but Simone, somehow I'm really seeing the love of God really
Yeah,
coming forth here. And I know persons watching. And guys, I mean, I've been so engulfed with the Williams that I forgot to just welcome persons back to Uniquely Me. But the thing about it is that when we go through these things, we become so bitter, so unforgiving,
yes,
so what you call it, we just want to go with separate ways. And
right.
somebody watching might be saying, yeah, because I'm not Christian, and I can't do that and that kind of thing. But Mr. Williams, this is where I want you to come in. What, having come back and looking at where you guys have been through, one of the things I asked Simone when I read through the book first, I said, Simone, did your husband read this? And she said, yeah, he's the one who actually read through it, help with the editing. When you saw all of what she wrote, looking back at what you guys have gone through, and looking at how the Lord brought even a baby and another baby after what, 3 children or 4?
4.
After 4, Jesus bringing a new baby. What came to your mind? What is it that what came to your mind?
Uh, there's a lot that rushed through my mind, but one thing is certain is that the love of God precedes everything, and His will is going to be accomplished no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter how long it takes. It took the children of Israel 40 years to go through the wilderness, which was a 10-day walk
Yeah.
from Egypt into Canaan. It took them 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
But when God has His hands upon you, it is His choice, as He says, that He will have mercy upon whom He will have mercy. And
Yeah.
whatever it is that he chooses to do and whomever it is that he chooses to do it with,
Yeah.
we all have to accept it, no matter how it is that we want to feel like we are in control. The Bible says that vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor are made unto him. We are all made by him and we're all made for him and for his glory. So even when you see evil things happening out there, you see gunmen killing people and things like those, even though a lot of persons who are faith-based and Christian don't want to accept that it is actually God who is allowing this to happen. It is because it is, if he's not God of all, he can't be God at all. He has to be God of everything in order for him to be God. He has all power. That means that even the evil power that is out there, it's him. He says that he uses the evil to avenge the evil, right? And we have to understand that. Even in when we look at Sodom and Gomorrah, right? He went to destroy that land, but he says that he bargained with Moses, with Abraham, he said, if 5 righteous is in there, went down and said, Lord, Moses started at 50, say 50, Abraham started at 50, and say, Lord, if 50 righteous, Lord said 50 righteous I won't, till Abraham reached down to 5.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't even 5 in there was about 4, right?
Exactly.
Because there was Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters. So there's only 4 that was in there. And then 3 was left, just Lot and his 2 daughters. So the Lord knows the outcome before it happens and entertains us as humans and our human minds, even though our minds can't think like him. But he still entertains us. He's not big and bossy and say, I know everything in us, so just listen to me. He entertains us and let us feel like, yes, we know something too. And he says, yes, Abraham, bargain with me. And if that is there, we'll save it. But him reach down to 5, Abraham never go down anymore. And the Lord allowed that. So it's the same with us. We know certain things, and we may think that we have knowledge of certain things, and we may think that we have control of certain things. And when these things hit us right in the center, it brings us to the reality that God is awesome and God is in control of everything. And no matter what it is that we think that we can do or we are able to do, God is going to show us exactly what he can do if we allow him to. If we don't even allow him, he's still going to do it.
So here's my question. I have 2 questions, so 2 major questions for you, Shaun. The first question is, have you apologized to Simone? Have you, I know you guys have gone through, but have you apologized to Simone?
Yes, I have told her that I am sorry. And I have been sincerely sorry for the hurt that I have put her through. One of the things that she don't comprehend properly is my apology. I am not sorry for the situation that occurred, because if I was sorry for the situation, that means I wouldn't have the result that I now have. I am not glad, but I am welcoming that the situation happened. I am thankful to God for it, even though it was not favorable. But yet still, because of it, we now have what we have.
So here's my question. Here's my second question. If that person came back, that person you said is not here, if that person came back, would you go after her again?
No.
Okay.
There's no feeling there anymore. I don't know what the Lord do with it, but that feeling that was there before
has disappeared.
Has gone. That's diminished. Has disappeared.
Simone, here's my tough question for you. You listened to your husband a while ago. How do you feel about his apology? And I know this is probably a few years ago, but how do you feel? Because guys, Uniquely Me is about uniquely somebody else. And your story is definitely going to help somebody else. And here we are real with our emotions. We're real with our speech, because persons watching want us to be real because they're facing real situation. How do you feel, Simone?
Well, the first question that you had asked, as you said, I struggle with the sort of apology that he gave. It happened because that's what the Lord, and I even wrote it.
Yeah.
I,
Is that where you have twist of fate? Because that's one of your chapters, twist of fate.
yes, yes, I
Mhm.
even wrote it. And I believe the Lord really used it to break me, to get my attention, really. But the human side of it is like it's still battling, right? With all the hurt and all of that. I sometimes go back and forth wondering, is this real? You see, because you've been hurt, when you've been hurt so many times and for such a long time, and the battle has already been won, you don't even know that you have won because of so many hurt. And so you keep on going back and wondering, is this real or is this true or whatever? But then we have to be careful of the Esau syndrome.
Simone, I'm going to stop you there because I want persons. I know all of that is in your book, but I want to wrap up here on the matter of forgiveness.
Yes.
Both of you, just share with me, how does forgiveness or is forgiveness one of the key things in recovering from an emotional trauma in a marriage?
Want me to go first?
I don't want, or you want the king to go first?
Okay, let me go. Because forgiveness for me is a gift you give to yourself, right? And
Yes.
it's something that I have to do for myself, and that's a part of loving myself. It doesn't make sense for me to be reliving the pain all over again daily, right? It helps for me, even if it's gonna cause pain, it must be growing pain.
Yeah.
We are now growing, right? The Lord said in 2 Corinthians 2, verse 7, it says, it's a time to forgive this man. Stop pouring on the guilt, right? And it's time now. It might, if you're gonna keep on pouring on the guilt, might as well you drown him in it, right? We have to be careful that we don't, the devil is so mischievous that he will keep on playing at our minds. And then, as I said before, be careful of the Esau syndrome, where we want to hold on to something that is temporary and let go of something that is permanent. And the permanency is of God's promise. He promised me, he said to Shaun that I am his rib, right?
Yes.
He had made many promises to me. And so instead of holding on to the past and become like Lot's wife, a pillar of salt, right? I choose to let go of the past and move on with what I have found. I share something with you. I was still battling in my mind. I'm wondering, what about this woman that my husband will want to go towards? And even though whatever he said is like, my mind was still stick on that because the enemy was using it to say, oh, this rejection, your husband reject you because you're no good and this one is so much better. And to tell you, the Lord worked it out where the Lord told me that, first of all, he's going to diminish whatever is happening. He's going to destroy that. Shaun came to me and said the Lord told him to cut all communications with this person.
Wow.
Secondly, he said to me, this person is going to read my book and want to reach out to me. I heard the message came to me that this person actually read my book. Sometimes you hear things in your mind, things in your mind.
Not your mind.
God
Yes.
confirmed it that she read my book and she wanted to reach out to me. I went on Amazon and I saw a review. She was the one who made that review, but she did not use her name.
Yes.
She used an alias name, and the Lord showed me that it's her. And she said that this book is an excellent book. She has complete respect for Simone as a wife and a mother, and she's so sorry for what I have been through. She believed that I'm a strong woman and that I will be a role model to my daughter.
Simone.
So it comes back again and want to put something negative. And I said, you know what? She wants to talk. I wrote her an email. I said, let's talk. And so she called, and but the thing about it, if the Lord send you to talk to somebody, don't go talk to them, because the enemy will use it back at you.
That's
and
true.
So we spoke, and she apologized. Not that I was looking for any apology from this woman, because she doesn't owe me anything. She wasn't the one who made that call. She was the one who sent the text, right?
Yeah.
My husband is committed to me. She doesn't owe me anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, she apologized, and instead of me telling her what's on my mind, I find myself counseling this lady. The Lord said, "You're not to me once. You're not a counselor based on your education. You're a counselor based on what I put inside of you."
Oh my
And I was
God.
telling her that, listen, you belong to God, and don't be mindful of what man has to say for you to know what you're worth.
Yeah.
And I told her that seek God, get to know God, and know what you're worth. And
Yeah.
she tapped me for it because I realized she was also hurting in her marriage, right?
Wow.
But the thing about it, while she apologized, she also had the gall to go
Mhm.
on and say how much she and Sean are so have so much in common. So I said, like what? Oh, we like Pepsi, we like playing dominoes, and I said, okay. And I came off the phone and it's like it wanted to bother my mind again. I said,
Yes.
what why is this? She's apologizing and but in a subtle way, want to rub it in my face.
Exactly.
The Holy Ghost turned up and said, listen, why are you
Yes.
so mindful of what others say? Why
Yes.
don't you gird the loins of your mind and focus on me? He said to me that the Lord that you serve is not is the God of the deep, right?
Yes.
If I'm
Yes.
gonna put you with somebody where the only connection you have is drinking Pepsi and playing domino,
Not true. Come on, Simone.
somebody where your connection goes far deeper than that. The thing
Yes.
about Sean and I is that we love to serve. We
Yes.
love to give up ourselves even to our own detriment. I remember when we used to have crusades. My husband would almost take the half, I mean, maybe exaggerating, but half of the church and drop them home, at them home. Not at a
Yes.
certain spot, not at the nearest spot, at them home. And I will have to wait on
Mhm.
him until he comes back. And when he gets me, I'm in the front with somebody else. And how
Mhm.
many at the back again? We have to drop home everybody at them home, right? And this is how the Lord has connected us to
Yeah.
serve others. My neighbors, they used to laugh at us because they said they never see a set of people who love to entertain. And when people come to our house, we'll serve them. And then when they take us out, we have nothing to eat because
Yeah.
we get all of the food. And then we just make a joke out of it. And the
Yeah.
Lord saying, this is the connection you have. It is not for your purpose. It's for
Yeah.
my purpose, right?
Yeah.
And I put you together for you, for my own purpose, for you to serve others and to show love.
Thank you so much for that, Simone. You said so many things a while ago that was so powerful. And, I'm really hoping that a wife watching this will really absorb it. Like you said, I mean, sometimes look here, we competitors really make we go fix yourself up for sure.
Yeah.
And it happens, it's a general concept in life. Your competitors forces you to go become the best version of yourself. And then I love the work of the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit make you recognize, so look here, if a Pepsi I'm playing domino alone, you're going to make bother you and go mash up your good marriage over, it ain't worth it. Sean,
Exactly.
I need you to have the second to last word before we end. What do you say to a husband that is going through a state right now and thinking that, hey, me need to give up this marriage that I've been in for how long? What do you say to them practically? And what do you also say to that wife, that woman that is thinking that, I don't want to be with my husband no more. He has hurt me. He has confessed that he has hurt me. And it's about time that I walk. What do you say to that woman, to that man first and to that woman?
Well, to the man first,
Yeah.
go back to the beginning. What is it that made you fell in love with this woman? There must have been something there for you to want at that point to spend the rest of your life with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? You
Yeah.
know, where has that gone? Is
Yeah.
that still there? If
Mm-hmm.
that is still there, then you have to clear away the weeds, root up the unwanted bushes
Mm-hmm.
and refertilize it, rewater it so that it can regenerate itself and rebirth, as you had said before,
Yeah.
But if it is that there is nothing there no more,
Mm-hmm.
there is no love there, what you had before is not there, then initially it should not have been then,
Yeah.
right? we can reach the point to say that from the outset it should not have been, it was a mistake, it shouldn't have happened, then that is it. You can leave and part there. But if there is something still there, as I said,
Yeah.
you have to, you have to nurture it. And to the woman, um, the man might be doing you harm, but if
Yeah.
there's love in you for this person, stop badgering them. Don't hammer them down anymore.
Mm.
Instead, love them. The loving extravagantly was one of the things that turned me around. I mean, how can I be hurting this woman and this woman be loving me so? It
Yeah.
it speaks volume. That's the strength of a woman, the power of a woman. In
Yeah.
spite of her circumstances, in spite of how it is that you are treating her, yet still it is that she's digging in deeper to show you God's love in it all. Instead, she is not crumbling at your feet and begging, so to speak, or even taking out back the anger upon you. But yet, still, she's saying to you that, listen, even though you have done this, I still love you. In
Yeah.
spite of who you are, what you have done, I still love you.
Yeah.
This is what God wants, for the couple to do to each other, is to
Yeah.
show and express His love to each other. And
Mhm.
this is how God loves us. God loves us extravagantly. We were once dogs and sorcerers and warmongers, liars and thieves, right? But yet, still, in spite of what you have done, God still loves you. In
Yeah.
spite of how it is that you made Him feel, He
Yeah.
still loves you.
Yeah.
Moses asked God that. Moses said, this generation is a set of viper. Why
Mhm.
it is that you love them so? And
Yeah.
the Lord said, these are my people, my chosen. I can do nothing but to love them.
Yeah.
So if it is that God has chosen you and wants to love you, you the man who have chosen this woman, you the woman who have chosen this man to be husband and wife,
Yeah.
there is something in there, and that is the love. Love
Wow.
them. Love them like how God has loved you and like how God has loved the world. It is so powerful that God likened the church and Himself like a husband and a wife.
Mhm.
He says the
Mhm.
husband and wife is like Christ and the church, and that the Christ should gives Himself for the church, so should the husband give himself for the wife. And the woman should love the husband as she loves the Lord.
Wow. Wow. Thanks so much for that, Sean. That was, I mean, both of you, you wouldn't understand for me what you're just talking with you a while ago, what that did for me. Powerful. And, I'm thankful to you, for both of you, for coming on and sharing and allowing yourselves to have been used by the Lord. It's not easy. I'm going to be very honest. And I mean, it's a tough one, but I love the love of God. The love of God shed abroad in our hearts really does allow us to be able to look past, forgive, overcome, and love each other. Here are three quotes I found that I want to just share with you guys. It says, one, who we marry is one of the most important decisions in life. And I heard you guys saying that. Here's the second one. A man is incomplete until he is married. After that, he is finished. There's no room for no one else. And here's this last thing. A happy marriage is the union of two good forgivers. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, Simone, your book, Wanting to Let Go, but His Love Won't Let Me. Hold that book up for us, please, so persons can see the book. Guys, I want you to know I was instrumental in that book, so I know it inside out. And it's one of those, I recommend this book for couples that are going through a rough time and not sure what they want to do. I know Simone says, yes, initially it wasn't written for Sean, but listen, when you read through that book, you understand the hurt of a woman, yet the love of a woman, and a husband's forgiveness, and how the love of God is engulfed in it all. So, Simone, where can we find your book?
Well, my book can be found on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Go to Amazon and just type in the title.
Yeah.
Want to let go, but His love won't let me.
Right.
And it's here on Kindle and paperback.
Awesome, awesome. So guys, if you're looking for,
Shaun, it is dedicated to Shaun, but you asked about his love, and it is the
okay,
God that
yes,
has loved my husband. And I just to say one last thing is just to be in the moment, be in the now,
yeah,
and just look at what you have before you. And when I opened my eyes, I saw a husband who was chasing after me hard.
yes.
So it was in the beginning, so it has been in the end. He's still chasing after me, and I'm seeing my children, five beautiful children, laughing
Yeah.
and just making much of us. I mean, troubling us sometimes. The one thing we still do is to text each other throughout the
Uh-huh.
day. And my 18-year-old son will call my phone his newspaper because he loves to read our text messages.
Tell him to go
Because
find a life for himself.
so just be in the now
Yes,
and just trust God for what He has done and for who He is.
yes. Thank you again so much, Simone and Shaun. I had a great time talking with you both. Thanks for being so open and coming to share your story. Definitely, I'm sure you're going to be helping somebody else. Who knows? You guys probably need to go into counseling to go help other couples that's struggling, with their love and with their faithfulness. And some, I'm sure there are some who are thinking it's dead, but you guys have shown that dry bones can live again.
Definitely, definitely. And how can you say you understand when you have never been through a situation? So I believe this is what the Lord wants, and counseling is
Yeah.
also a part of our core values, Shaun and myself. So we love, as we say, we love to serve, and
Yeah.
the Lord is just using us sometimes as guinea pigs to really do His work and reach out to hurting souls.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we're going to end here. Thank you so much again. I declare blessings over your marriage. I declare fruitfulness. On one, four, five more picnic.
No, 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 no. We come with a blessing. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, Lord. Shaun squeezes his eyes like, oh no, oh no. But I bless you both and I thank you again so much for coming to share. And I mean, I hope I declare, I mean, that, your books will now go far and wide and go global like it already is, and that others will definitely see the experience, the truth, and the joy that came from your story. All
Thank
right.
you.
Bless
Thank
you
you for
guys.
having us.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Take care.
Take
So,
care.
yes. Thank
Bless
you
you.
again for another episode. I sure hope you were truly blessed. I had so much fun just talking with the Williams. And I need you to do me a favor. I need you to, one, I need you to subscribe to the channel. I need you to, of course, hit the notification bell. I need you to go over to Instagram and look for Simone's page. Simone, I forgot to ask quickly, what is your Instagram handle? I will find it and put it up. Don't worry yourself. And I need you to go and get Simone's book. So, guys, that's it from me. And of course, uniquely me is uniquely you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Who am I really? Choices, choices, choices. In pursuit of a career? OMG, I'm a wife. Help! I am a mother. Oh, I'm in church. When do I get to be a woman that God called me to be? Uniquely Me covers the acrobatic endeavors of every woman to balance the responsibilities of being a mother, a wife, a professional, a church leader, a friend, yet still maintain her identity. I too am a mother, a wife, a trained minister of religion, a banker, an entrepreneur trying to balance the many hats that signifies my role. My book will help motivate and empower every woman who is really unique in her own way. Grab your copy today on Amazon because Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, Uniquely Me is uniquely you.